Good morning, Year 8. Welcome back to 8.11 interior and exterior angles. Walker here. Here is your knowledge retrieval. 5B we're up to. Please pause the video and attempt and give yourself 8 minutes to do this. Press play when you're ready for the answers. Here are your answers. Please use a green pen to make any corrections or add all ticks. Them all correct, and if so, well done. Pause the video, and then when you're ready, press play to move into the lesson content for today. As you can see in the contents, we are now up to problem solving for our regular polygons. So we're just going to recap must know angle facts. Okay, remember when you have angles around a point sum, they are 360, so that can be at any point of a polygon shape. And also on the right, remember angles on a straight line sum up to 180 degrees. We use calculations to work out our exterior and interior angles. So here's another recap slide for us showing the image of our interior angle in green, as you can see clearly, and then the exterior angle and the red outside. And we have our 180 degrees line, which I will colour red now. So this one here along here. And you can pause the video and just read the description above. And another recap slide. So I'm just reminding us when we were working out our exterior angle, we always take 360 and divide it by the number of sides. And the reason I've put this here is that the first step of the skill to help us with our problem solving. And then we will use our 180 degrees to help us identify our interior angle as well. And then find a final answer. So a couple of steps today. Okay, so here's just the recap of that exterior skill. We have an octagon, 8 sides, so I would do 360 divided by 8, number of sides, which we spoke about in the last slide, which we've practiced in prior lessons. Okay, and that would give me my answer. I'm just going to write X for one exterior angle, and I wrote X because that's the letter here. So that would give us this one exterior angle that I've just shaded there. We should all know how to do that very simply. Recapping that, as I've said, just to make sure we get our first step right in our problem solving. So at the top of the page is your LO. Pause the video and give yourselves 30 seconds to write that down, and then press play when you're ready to move into the I do. Make sure you underline both the LO and the I do, and then when you're ready, the we do. Press play when you're ready to move into this I do. So the I do, we are problem solving, and we're problem solving because, as you can see in the image, we have 2 polygons here. It's asking us to identify one angle with the green line, and that is labeled A. How we do this is we look and guide ourselves with our success criteria as always. we have number 1, calculate the exterior angle. Well, we've just talked about how to do that, so let's do that first right away. Okay, now we don't do it for 2 polygons, so we've got 12 sides. We just do it as we normally would. We just use 6 here because it's a hexagon. So we do 360 degrees divided by 6. That's going to give us 60 degrees. And that is our exterior angle. Okay, which I've said in that first part, calculate the exterior angle, 360 divided by the number of sides. We've just done that. And the second part of step 1, and for the interior angle here, we now need to do 180 degrees subtract the exterior angle. So that's that angle fact where we subtract either the exterior or interior to find the other. Okay. So now we do 180 subtract exterior angle, and that's going to give us our interior angle, okay, which is going to be 120. Now we've got our interior in the brackets, I for interior angle. Now, what we must do, so these are skills that we've already practiced in the prior 2 lessons. What we must do now is we must add, which we're all good at, all the interior angles calculated. So when I say all, it's because there's 2 polygons. There's going to be 2 interior angles of 120. So we must do 120 plus 120. Sorry about that too. That's going to give us 240. Okay. And remember, this is because there is 2 or more polygons. We have 2 here. Okay, this one and this one. Now for step 3, to get to our final answer for A, our exterior angle of A for both of these polygons, we now need to subtract this total, so the 240, okay, we need to subtract that from 360, okay. So just because of room, I'm just going to go up above again to the left. So we take our 360, because remember all angles of a polygon equal, we use 360 equal to 360. We subtract that 240 that we've calculated. Okay, and that is going to leave us with our final answer, all right, of 120. Okay, and that would be A angle here. And just cast back down to number 3. Remember, it was an exterior angle that we was trying to find our final answer. And remember, that's because we used our simple 180 angle rule again. Okay, that's why we used the total interior of 240, and then we subtracted it again to find 120 for our exterior angle. Okay, right, let's have a go at a redo. Pause the video now and see how you go. I'm sure you'll do great if you follow these steps. And press play when you're ready for the answer. Here is your answer for the redo. I've wrote the steps from the top 1, 2, and then number 3 under the image. and I've drawn the arrow from 90 degrees to show that the label angle of A is your final answer of 90 degrees. So well done if you follow the steps practice from that I do for us with our success criteria. Okay, so then year 8, for this I do, what we have is two different shapes. We have a hectagon. It's just a subtle change to our working out. So let's follow our steps accordingly. That's criteria. So number one, like we did the hectagon from the last slide, we know that 360 divided by 6, the number of sides, gave us 60 degrees. So I'm just writing this, I'm not doing the full calculation, writing it for the full calculation out. Then we take, so I'll do this part, 180, subtract the 60, equals 120 to get our interior angle for the hexagon. And then for the octagon, okay, you did this in your redo, an octagon. So you already know that the 360 divided by 8, it gives you 45. So again, I'm not going to write the full calculation, but I'll write this part, 180, to get our interior angle, subtract 45 equals 135 degrees, our other interior angle for the octagon. Okay, now we want to add those together. Oh, and sorry, them two parts would have been step 1 together. 2 would be adding them into 2 interior angles. So 120 add 135 equals, just writing this underneath each other for space, 255 for all our 2 interior angles, 155 degrees. Now for step 3, like we did in the last slide, I do and we do, we subtract that 255 from 360 degrees. Remember, 360 for all polygons, for all angles, and that's going to equal 105. And that would be our final answer for the labelled exterior angle of B. Again, all you've done is you've just done it with you've just done a slightly different calculation, extra bit of work in step 1. Right, pause the video, please have a go at the redo. Look at what shapes you have, okay, and do the 2 calculations in step 1. Follow the success criteria as you've done before now. Press play when you're ready for the answer, please. So everyone, here are the redo answers. You should have had 132 degrees as your answer for the exterior angle label B, combined for them both polygons. So you know that you knew the hexagon already, we've worked that a lot. We had a pentagon, you should have had 108 for its interior angle, having followed the normal steps, and then added together, and then number 3 to get to 132. Okay, let's move on. Okay, this time we have an octagon and we have a square. So you just again following the simple rules. So for the octagon, we know that's going to be an interior angle of 45. We've used that a lot now in previous examples. For a square, you're going to have to divide 360 by 4. So let's do 360. When my pen decides to draw properly, sorry guys. 360 divided by 4. Okay, so that's going to be 90 degrees. Subtract that from 180. Put that 180 take 90 equals 90 degrees. And then for our step 2, you know what we're doing. We're going to add that 90 and 45 together. Okay, so that's going to give us 135. And then you know what we're doing in step 3 now. We take that 360, we subtract that 135 out all of our interior angles for both the octagon and square in this case. Okay, that's going to leave us is 225. Oh, 25. Jumping the gun there with a 5 for our angle C. So I'd say this relatively easy one because not necessarily, it's just a different shape again, the square. So 4 sides. Right, there's another question on the way do. I'm sure you'll fly through it. Pause the video and press play when you're ready for the answer, please. So without doing all the working out for this we do, the answer for the exterior angle of C would have been 150. Okay, combined with a hexagon this time. Okay. Right, so let's move on. Make sure, guys, as well, you're using your green pen to make those corrections where needed and making sure you're ticking away, ready to send to photos to your teachers. Okay, yeah, right. So we now, as you can see in the image, have 3 shapes connected, 3 polygons, and not to be alarmed, we're just going to be doing an extra sum for our exterior and interior angle, as we've been doing with our steps. Notice success criteria hasn't changed. So try this now then on my my red pen. So sorry, one moment, guys. Nearly there. All right, so we have a pentagon, a square, and a triangle. So let's say step 1, we need to remember divide all our polygons by the number of sides from 360. So the square, we've already done a square in previous examples. We end up with 90 as our interior angle, don't we? Let's go through the other 2 just to check all things. So let's do the pentagon first. We've got 360. Just so we keep familiar with this working out. 360 divided by 5 gives us 72. And we do 180. Take 72 equals 108. Yeah, and we know that's our interior angle for the pentagon. Remember, this part above was our exterior, the first bit that we do working out. And then we've got the triangle left, haven't we? So I'll do that to the right of the I do text. So this time 360 divided by 3 equals 120 degrees. That's our exterior. We take that 120 from our 180 to get our interior. Subtract 180, subtract 120 equals 100, take that 100, take the 20. 60, and then that's our interior. And now we have all our interiors. For that step 2, we add all of them together. So 90 underlined up top, 108, add a 60, okay, 50. So we're going to have 258 as a total degrees. And then the final step, as we always do, number 3, 360, subtract that 258, and that's going to leave us with 300 take 200, 100, 60 take 58, that's 2, so 102. And I'm going to use my arrow, and I'm just going to show you, yes, that is our exterior angle labeled E for these 3 polygons. Okay, so all you did was just add an extra sum in there because there's 3 polygons now. I have no doubt, Year 8, that you are really smashing this. Pause the video now, have a go at the we do, and press play when you're ready for the answer, please. So Year 8, without having done the full working out, I've just done the work, showing you the answers for the working out. So on 1, the triangle 60 we know, square 90 degrees we know, the decagon, so 10-sided, which we haven't used yet, we should have worked out at 144. 360 divided by 10 is 36. 180 take 36 is 144 degrees. Number 2 step, add them all together, we get 294 degrees. And then our last step, 360, take that 294 equals 60 degrees, which is our E, exterior angle. Okay, so green pen if you need. Pause the video to do that, and then press play when you're ready to move on. Right, okay, example 5, and this is our last example before do some practice questions. So you're doing really well, keep going. There's an extra step in here, as you can see in the success criteria, and that's towards the end. Okay, that's towards the end. So what we do everything at normal, and then we're going to sort that last bit out at the end. Okay, so what shapes we've got? Well, this small one we can see we've got a hexagon. Okay, this big one we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got an octagon. Just double checking that because it's slightly turned to the side instead of being straight, I guess. And then we've done octagon and hexagon a lot of times to work out the exterior angle for number 1. So for the octagon, we know that we end up with the interior angle of 90. Oh, sorry. No, it's not 90. My apologies. We need to do, it would be 45 when for the exterior angle, 360 divide the 8, and then we need to take 180, so 45 from 180 to get our interior angle. So it'd be 135, that. Thank you for correcting that, Mr. Walker. Okay, and then for the hexagon, 60 away, it's 180 takes 60 the exterior angle, so that's going to give us 120 interior angle. So these are sums that we've used already in the lesson. And we do number 2. So we add them together, 255. So I think this was back in example number 2, where we did this working out exactly the same here. And then we have 3, where we take it from 360. So 360 take 255 is going to get 105 degrees. Now what happens is, if we look at 4, the extra step, before I talk about 4, that 105 is the G. So we worked out that exterior angle for the octagon and hexagon for G. We still don't know what is here in the little triangle that's made up on the outside. And to calculate that for number 4, all we need to do is find that smaller angle. I'm reading it at the bottom. We need to do 180 degrees, subtracting the G, the amount of G, which is that 105. So let's do that first. So 180 again. So that's the angle fact coming into play, right? Interior and exterior. 180. And it's also, we have a triangle as well, and all angles add up to 180. So 180 subtract 105, that G angle that we worked out, that we needed first, all right, is going to leave us with 75. But that's not the final answer, okay, because what we need to do as well to get that F, that's that last part, is we need to divide this 75, just going to write it alongside, by 2, which gives us 37.5 degrees when divided by 2. So that would be the F. So I'll just draw a nice arrow through, hopefully, to this F angle here around the back of the H. Okay, so that's just the last step that you've added in now. So it's not complicated at all. When you look at that image, it does look a bit fearful. You might think, oh, what's happening now? No, all it is that extra step. Okay, and I've explained that we have got a triangle. All angles add up to 180. We also use the angle factor of 180 still. And we use our G to work out the F. And you've still got the same letters for your we do. So pause the video and have a go. The only difference is one of the shapes are different. So you're going to do slightly different calculations to start with. Press play when you're ready for the answer. Here is your redo. So from the top, again, I've not put the calculations in for 1. I've worked out the interiors, which you should be able to do fine. We know that. 2, again, added it together. We know that. 3, subtracted it from 360. We know that. And we found G, drawn the arrow. But here's step 4 broken down. That 180, subtracting the 106, the exterior G angle size to equal 74. Divide that by 2 to get our F angle, exterior angle of 37 degrees. So well done if you got this right. Okay, let's make sure we can make any corrections if needed. Right, guys. So here are some questions to attempt. Okay, I'm sure you're going to nail them all, year 8. Pause the video, have a go. I've even put the success criteria at the bottom for guidance to start with. And you've got 4 minutes, so 2 minutes on each. Set a timer, be realistic, okay? Yep, and do it that way. Press play when you're ready for the answers. Okay, so here are your answers. For A, you can see 192. So they've actually got it here. And then for B, you can see 156, just about. So if you got any parts of your working out wrong, just have a look at where you may have gone wrong. All right, maybe identifying the shape, early calculation, etc. Okay. Here is two more to have a go at. Same thing again. 2 minutes on each. Couple of more shapes. And press pause now and then press play when you're ready for the answers. Year 8. Okay, here they are. C, 126. And for D, you had 156 and 66. Pause this just to check through and then press play to move on to the next questions. Alright guys, here's two more to try. Still got the success criteria. Still helping you, giving you the guidance there. Usual procedure. And press play when you're ready for the answers. Here are your answers. 102, much bigger these ones to see. I know we can just about see. We've got 137 down here. Sorry about that one being really small. Press play when you've done your marking and you're happy to move on. Okay, and here's a question to try for the last example 5 that we did before, where we have that small triangle on the outside of the two polygons. Just add that step 4 in now. Remember, you need to use 180 to subtract your x angle here and then divide by 2. So a little hint there. Pause now and then press play when you're ready for the answer. So here's your answer for the question where we had that extra step, that number 4. We had 105 for that exterior angle, working out towards step 3, and then you have 37.5 for the step 4 to find the other exterior angle sides, or so-called interior angle inside the small triangle. Exterior to the two polygons, then pink, but then interior to that little triangle added on. Okay, year 8, so just check over your LO and you identifying. We started that in lesson 1 and then you calculate the angles, and we've done that to problem solve today with polygons attached to each other. You have sort of struggled throughout the lesson, please make sure that you fully watch everything on Hegarty Maths to boost your skills that way, and everyone is doing that anyway. Here's your self-assessment questions to check your learning, to self-assess yourself with some questioning. As you see, lesson 2, counter Hegarty Maths, check your understanding, boost these skills the next hour. And we don't need to worry about them. Okay, and as always, send your work to your teachers with your scores and your evidence of your work so they can give you awards, achievement points for this. Hope you've enjoyed the lesson, and we've got lesson 4 coming up soon later this week. So enjoy, take care.